Terminating an employee is one of the most difficult tasks that you may have to face as a small business. In addition to having to deal with the specific problem the employee is creating, you also have to handle the firing in a manner that is as fair as possible to reduce the risk of legal repercussions. This requires setting up formal termination processes in advance and carefully documenting every step of the way as you implement the process. A termination policy does more than just create a blueprint for your employees to follow. By creating this blueprint, you create a company standard and set expectations and distribute them to everyone that works for you, thus creating your business culture. You're also creating a chain of documents that can be produced in lawsuits or any unjust terminations to protect yourself. Your policies and guidelines should include all the communication that employees receive explaining your company's general expectations, along with specific work requirements and policies. These start at the very beginning once you hand that employee that job application. The language should be neutral, business-focused, and non-discriminatory. The same is true when you provide them their job description. The end result of all this documentation and communication provided to the employees turns out to be an employee handbook. The employee handbook details your company's policies and expectations. Specifically, your employee handbook will lay out the general terms of employment, defining whether or not it's an at-will relationship, and it also will describe your efforts to maintain a safe, discrimination-free workplace. An employee handbook may include employee performance evaluations and what happens if the standards are met. You could create a separate section that describes the expectations for professional behaviors, absenteeism, dress code, respect for coworkers, managers, or direct reports. And then you also can include a section that gives a description of behaviors that constitute grounds for dismissal. Your employee handbook should also describe the termination process and also list how the distribution of final compensation and any benefits such as medical insurance or accrued paid time off will be handled. At will means the employer has the right to fire an employee at any time for any reason. Businesses in every state except Montana are free to adopt an at-will employment policy. This means that the people you hire are presumed to be working at your discretion unless you offer a contract. Under at-will employment, the length of employee tenure at your business is not specified, so they can leave and you can terminate them at any time. Keep in mind that at-will employment does not mean that employers can arbitrarily fire employees without good faith communication, fairness, and non-discriminatory practices. In fact, courts are increasingly fighting for employees in litigation. So you want to ensure that you have all your processes in place prior to terminating any employee. When you have to terminate an employee, you want to ensure that the meeting is held in a neutral, private setting such as a conference room. You may also want to have a witness present. In addition to the verbal communication of the termination, some agencies may hand a termination letter to the employee to put their decision in writing. That letter most likely will explain how the final compensation and benefits will be distributed. Post-termination communication is very important. You need to notify your team that the employee is no longer with the agency, and then also remind them of their limits of confidentiality so that they understand that they cannot discuss it with others. Thank you for joining us here for this training. We appreciate you guys. If you guys could do us a big favor and subscribe, like, and share this video, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks.